If you want to pay less tax, simply change the facts. So the IRS said you cannot write off clothing as clothing expense on your taxes. But if you buy a garment of clothing, right, and you decide to get your business logo or your business trademark, as we mentioned at the beginning of the episode, if you decide to get your business logo or business trademark stitched or pressed on the clothing, like you all see, I'm wearing the Melanin Money shirt, a normalized black wealth. If you get your logo visibly stitched or your trademark visibly stitched or pressed on the clothing, that is no longer a clothing expense. That is what we call an advertising expense. So now you're able to write off the clothing that you purchased. You're also able to write off the stitching cost or the pressing cost of getting your logo put on the clothing. And you get to write off every single time you take this garment or this piece of clothing to the cleaners.
Boy, I was about to, you growing up, I don't know if y'all went like the Baptist churches or whatever, they used to run around and shout how it looked. Boy, I was about to get up and do it. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Melanin Money Show. Have y'all been feeling the vibe lately, man? It seems like it. The subscribers are going up.
Sir.
The downloads are going up. So I know we give a lot of extra love to our YouTube and channel. So for our audio listeners, we love you guys too. Right? We love y'all too. It's just that want y'all to see us, right? So when you're on the go, you listen to the audio, but if you have a chance to be at the crib, or pop up the iPad and check us out on YouTube, so we appreciate the love. So,
and I'm gonna keep it a buck. I didn't buy all this equipment and ship all this equipment across the country for y'all not to watch this on YouTube. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? That's just my old my selfish ways. But yeah, I didn't buy all this expensive equipment, ship it across the country for y'all not to want to watch this on YouTube. That's all I'm saying. I want it to be worth it for both parties.
Fair enough. So let's do a couple of housekeeping things. Number one, so thank you for all of our listeners in all the countries. We do track that. So I think we're at 56 countries now, consistent listeners all across the country, all across the world. So we really, really appreciate that. Also, you guys are going to have an opportunity to get your questions answered live on the show going forward, right? So you'll see a link either in the show notes on the audio outlets or on YouTube, where all you have to do is submit your question, whether it's audio, video, or a quick written note, and we will actually answer that question live on the podcast. So guys, make sure you get your free financial game, right? We're rolling that out, I think maybe as soon as this next episode. So definitely tap in on that. And yeah,
you probably can do one today.
Probably can do one today for sure.
We can pull out one of the questions on the Tax Free Tuesday video, and since today's episode is going to be about that, so we might just do it for y'all today to show y'all it's going to be
today. Absolutely. All right. So Carter, what are we talking about today?
Yeah. So just me being selfish again. I decided that we should talk about taxes. Well, not selfish because it's tax season, right? It's middle of February. It is tax season. So I hit up George like, look, man, we would be remiss if we didn't do an episode talking about taxes, and not just talking about taxes, but the best tax saving strategies for you to live tax-free in 2023, right?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's not just about making the bag. It's about keeping the bag, guys. So we want to, a lot of our podcasts is about how to make money, how to become a millionaire. But guess what? If you make $1 million and then you let Uncle Sam come take half,
what we doing?
You don't got $1 million no more. You know what I'm saying? So today I want to just, talk about the best tax saving strategies of 2023. Give y'all some game, give y'all some sauces and things that you can implement in your life, in your business today, to allow you to live tax-free in 2023. So, Jay, you ready to get into it?
Let's get into it, man.
Let's get into it. So the first thing I need everybody to understand before I can get into any tax strategies or any plays, if you want to win the game of taxes, you have to be on the right team, right? I tell this to my students all the time. And like what Carter, what do you mean by right team? Well, the tax code was made to benefit entrepreneurs and investors.
Right.
So if you're not an entrepreneur and you're not an investor, you're on the wrong team, and therefore you cannot win the game. And I think it's important, GA, if we just tell people like why some people are like, yo, well, that's not fair. Well, like think about it like this. As an entrepreneur, right? I'm an entrepreneur, George's an entrepreneur. For every job that we create, that is one less job that the government has to create. Right? For every job that we create, that's one less person that the government has to put on welfare. Right? And we're creating a lot of jobs. Like we're pumping a lot of money into the economy. Like, you know, me and George talked about this before. Like our goal in entrepreneurship was to like make 100K. And then our goal became, well, how can I pay 100K in salaries to give my team, to pay my team well and to build my business to the point where I have a 6-figure payroll, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
kind of flex. Right.
Yeah, he said what?
A different kind of flex. You know what I'm saying?
Different kind of flex, right? Different kind of flex. So
speaking of which, we gotta bring those back. People have been asking me about those. We did a limited run. The shirts that we did for you a while back, I think last year, was it last year? Might have been 2021 at this point.
Yeah, you about things to show off, I about things to write off?
You might got to bring those back.
We need to because the trademark just cleared 3 days ago.
Hey, see, and I didn't even, listen, that was, I'm telling you, that was over, I think that was like September 2021 when we did that, right? Because time flies. And what are the odds that I asked about it today and the trademark just cleared? You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. So that means that's a sign, y'all. We gotta bring that back, and it's tax season. We gotta bring it back. So we're gonna bring those back, man.
We're gonna bring those back. All right, bet. So guys, that's why the tax code benefits us, because the tax code is a rule book. It's a rule book created by the government. It's an incentive system. If you do what the government wants you to do, they'll give you tax breaks. If you do a lot of the things the government wants you to do, they'll give you a lot of tax breaks. If you do everything the government wants you to do, you can even live tax free. So that's why becoming a business owner, becoming an entrepreneur is not a choice. Like it's mandatory, at least having a side hustle, because you can't win the game of taxes if you're only a W-2 employee. And I know GA, you give this talk to some of your clients in your firm, right?
100%, man. It's like, listen, like we're not saying that there's anything wrong with being an employee or an executive of a company. We're just saying that at the end of the day, if you want to win the game, right, you have to be playing by the right rules. It's like you don't step on a basketball court with a football and wonder why, you can't win the game. You're trying to throw it in the hoop. Like it just doesn't work that way, right? And so some of y'all are, I think he used this analogy one time, but it's like playing basketball with Tim's on. You know what I'm saying? Like you need to put the right equipment on. So it's like, guys, like you got to be playing the game, got to have the right equipment. And understanding the tax code and the incentive system that it is can help you do just that.
What's up, guys? Congratulations on joining Team Black Wealth. But we'd be remiss if we didn't give you a uniform as an official player on the team. So head over to shop.melaninmoney.com and grab your official uniform for Wealth Builders Uncovered. We'll see y'all at practice.
So the first strategy I recommend people, and this is for my W-2 earners out there that maybe don't have the business yet. One of the best things you can do is turn your hobby into a business, right? So what do I mean by that? So if you work a full-time job as a W-2 earner and your hobby is traveling, right? You love to travel. If you decide to start a side hustle where you're a travel blogger, or you decide to start a side hustle where you're a travel content creator, you create content based on the best places to travel in certain cities or certain countries, your hobby of traveling is now a business. As long as you have a way that you can prove that you're trying to monetize the hobby and try to make money from it, that is now a legitimate business. So expenses that you were already paying for now become a tax deductible expense in your business. So now those flights out the country are tax deductible, right? Now the hotels are tax deductible. Now those meals that you're having overseas is tax deductible because you're now operating your travel blogging business and your documentation is your blog. So like one of the best things you can do is turn your hobby into a side hustle, and you're able to write off expenses that you were already incurring.
This is so true. So my wife, you'll see now that she is making a pivot into like the motherhood and meals kind of sector of content creation, right? And so the beautiful thing about that is that all, kids are expensive, right? And so now when we buy diapers or different things for the kid, my son, because he's the reason why she's getting some of these brand deals, guess what? Those things now become a tax deduction. Now, when she wants to go out to give a review on a restaurant, right, for a place that we would ordinarily eat anyway, guess what? Now it's a tax deduction. You follow what I'm saying? So there's so many ways that you can get creative, but all you have to do is you got to be at least in the game. You got to be at least in the game. It's so powerful. Like literally Sunday, we're going to this new restaurant. She called ahead. Now, in this case, they're actually going to comp the food and give us like a food credit because, again, she's an influencer as well. But if we had to pay, right, it would be a tax deduction, right? Now, when you get really good at what you do, right, now you're going to even be able to get stuff for free that you ordinarily would pay for. But if you have to travel to go to that place and they're not covering that, you can write off the travel. So it almost feels unfair at times when you know the rules, right? It almost feels unfair.
Yeah, I mean, like, and I hope this analogy lands. You know what I'm saying? Like Grand Theft Auto was a much funner game where you knew that up, down, left, right, the cheat codes to get all the weapons and stuff. Like it feels like you're cheating, but you just know the rules of the game. Like so when it comes to taxes, y'all, the reason why wealthy people, millionaires, billionaires, the reason why they don't pay taxes or have a really, really low tax rate is because they study the rules of the game that they're playing. And it burdens me because, like, as a people, right, so this is the Melanin Money show, like, we wouldn't let our spouse be our spades partner at the family reunion if they ain't know the rules of spades. Period.
Come on now.
Like, right, period, right? You're like, baby girl, yeah, get up. Like, no, we ain't losing today. But
almost never happened because of a spades game. Like, we almost didn't make it past the boyfriend and girlfriend phase, right? We was playing, and it was in front of her family too. I let them know too. I'm like, look, your daughter is cute and everything, but she rigged. We only a couple months in this thing. You know what I'm saying? So listen, I'm telling you, this thing is serious.
Facts. So, like, if that's the case, then why do we approach the game of money? Why do we approach the game of business? Why do we approach the game of taxes without knowing the rules? And then we get mad when we lose the game, right? Exactly. So strategy number one is turning your hobby into a side business so that you can take advantage of all the tax deductions that come with it. Now, the second rule is one of my favorite, like literally one of my favorite tax plays of 2023 is called the Augusta rule. Now, let me get you love this, right?
Love this one.
Yeah, you're a golfer too, so this is all. It's all. So I'll break down the play, then I'll get your insight on it. So guys, I think in the 1960s, there was the Masters tournament that used to happen every year in Augusta, Georgia. And when people flew in to Augusta, Georgia, the citizens there, the people that lived in the neighborhood, they would rent out their homes to the visitors because they wanted to make some extra money. Now, what they didn't know is that the government was going to tax them on the money that they earned from renting their house out. So they had to pay taxes on this rental income, and they weren't aware of this. So they combated Congress like, look, we're not full-time real estate people. We're not renters. Like, we just renting out our apartment for a few days out the year. We shouldn't have to recognize this as income. And guess what happened, y'all? Guess what happened? They won, right? You already know when wealthy people approach Congress, they're going to win. They're going to win, right? So they won the case. So the IRS had to change the ruling to state if you rent out your primary residence for 14 days a year or less, you don't have to recognize that income as rental income. Okay? So if you rent out your primary residence, if you own your home and you rent out your primary residence, you can rent it out for at least 14 days out the year or less, and you don't have to recognize that rental income. GA, like, how did you feel when you first heard about this rule?
Like it was legal money laundering. So that's what I felt like, right? So just really unpack that for a second, guys. So you have a house that you own, right? And you can. This is the crazy part. you own it as an individual. You live there as a primary residence, but Carter, correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm also a business owner, I can rent my house out to my business for 14 days, right? So now you simply make this, have good documentation as with anything for the IRS, right? But I can simply make this transfer, right, of money, get the tax deduction and not pay any income on it. And it's my house and my business. You see why I said this is like legal money laundering? And it's 100% in the rule. It's crazy.
Fact. So let me break it down a little bit further, because I know GA, you said that and like wait a second. So everything Jordan said is right. So when they changed the rule of business owners got smart, like wait, so you're telling me that if I rent my house out to somebody else, I could do it for 14 days or less, and I can get that money tax free. But what if I rent it out to my business? And the IRS was like, that counts. So now as a business owner, you can rent out your primary residence to your business for up to 14 days a year and charge your business rent each day. Your business gets a tax deduction for the rent that it paid, and you, the owner, receive that rent money tax free. This is the closest you're going to get to legitimate money laundering. It's crazy.
What's going on, guys? I'm George.
I'm Jacqueline.
And I'm Carter.
And we are your money mentors. But today we wanted to talk to you about a really special feature, Financial Flicks. Can you imagine an entire on-demand library of financial content across 3 main categories: wealth building, entrepreneurship, and personal finance, so that you can take your finances to the next level?
Guys, when you replace entertainment with education, your life will change forever. Imagine replacing 1 hour of Netflix with 1 hour of Financial Flicks. Imagine how much further that could take you to your financial destination. And we have the perfect library for you.
Yeah, so if you're ready to Financial Flicks and chill with us to put more of your energy into education, then join us in the club. We can't wait to see you there.
See you there.
It's crazy. When I saw this rule, it was like, this is nuts. And it's why you just have to understand the rules, guys. Like this should excite you, right? Like this kind of stuff is exciting to me. You know what I'm saying? Talk dirty to me. When people start giving me these kind of plays, I'm like, yo, talk dirty to me. You know
No, it's a fact. It's a fact, man. So one thing we again, this is the Melanin Money Show. We don't want to give y'all theories. We want to give y'all tactical ways. So I'm going to give y'all the step breakdown of how you can implement this rule in 2023. So number one, you have to own your home. It has to be a primary residence that you own. Number two, you have to have a business, right? Number three, you want to create a lease agreement between you and the business stating that I am the owner of residence XYZ, lease this dwelling out to XYZ LLC for these 14 days a year at this rate. Now, the question is, how much do we charge our business? Can we just say it's $5,000 a day? Mm-hmm. Absolutely not, right? That is how you get audited. Congratulations, you played yourself, right?
Congratulations. So you want a stupid prize.
So one thing you want to do, guys, is you want to go to Airbnb.com or VRBO.com, and you want to find comparable rent rates for the unit that you live in. So if you live in a 4-bedroom in Charlotte, North Carolina, you want to look up 4 bedrooms in your area and see how much they would rent for those days. So let's say you looked up comparable rent rates and it was $500 a day. So you can charge your business $500 a day. So 500 times 14 days. So you can charge a business $7,000. And your business gets a $7,000 tax deduction, and you can receive $7,000 in tax-free money, and you can run this play every single year. Can I give them
just a little bit of season? Because you just chefed that up. I mean, you brought it out. It was amazing. We don't need nothing extra. We know some people like just a little extra season. Can I sprinkle just a little bit?
Sprinkle some on them, bro. Sprinkle some on them.
What happens if you live in a prominent city like LA or New York and there's the Grammys or the Super Bowl or something crazy coming to your city and you live in proximity of where this event is happening? I would bet that when you go to Airbnb, the rates are going to be higher because of what's happening in the city, right? So be strategic about when you choose to rent your property out, because now you're going to be able to get $1,000 a night potentially, right? Which is an even bigger tax deduction. Now that $7,000 goes to $14,000.
Yeah. No, that was a little bit too much sauce to get for free, but you gave it, so I mean, it's all good. It's all good, but our listeners deserve it. But that's like, matter of fact, bro, I just had a student that lives in Arizona. And obviously, I just came back from the Super Bowl out there, right? So he has a ridiculous house anyway. His house is ridiculous anyway. So normally he's able to get about $1,500 to $1,800 a day in rent comps. During the Super Bowl, guess how much the comps went up that week?
So normally 15 to 1,800 Super Bowl. I'm gonna go 3,500.
5,000. $5,000 a night around the Super Bowl. So like theoretically, if you did that for 14 days, $5,000 times 14, that is $58,000. His business would get $58,000 tax deduction, and he would receive $58,000 tax free. Let me make sure that math is correct, right?
70 actually. Is it 70?
Oh, is it?
70, yeah. 5,000.
Oh, wow, 70,000. My bad. 70.
Is there a cap on the amount?
No, there's no cap.
As long as it's comparable?
What the kids say, there's no cap. You know what I'm saying? There's no cap here. You know what I'm saying? So guys, that's crazy. That's crazy.
It's a game, man. It's a game. Please just learn the rules. That's sexy. I don't care what y'all say. That's sexy. Can we give a shout out to Carter though? Because I've been in this financial services game for a long time. I understand tax at a high level, deep level, I would say. But I don't do my own taxes. Even IRS, I just want to make sure I'm watching buttoned up, right? So even me, but Carter is the first person that I've ever come across that can make taxes fun and exciting ever. And I'm not saying this because he's my business partner and my friend and my brother. I'm being honest. Like I've never met or come across anybody talk about, I don't want to get out of my face. Like, what are we talking about? Like, I don't want to hear anything related to the IRS. He demystifies it, makes us realize that the power is in our hands, right? We just got to understand how to do it. Right. So shout out to Carter. Give Carter some love on this.
Hey, I appreciate it. I appreciate y'all. Leave some love in the comments, man. You know what I'm saying? But we here for y'all because we just found it so powerful, man. Like to just if we just keep all the money that we make, right? Like our life would be so much better. Like imagine if, so the average person pays 51% of their lifetime income in taxes on average. Federal tax, state tax, property tax, sales tax, all that. You working 6 months of the year for free. That's crazy.
That's
so
crazy.
Imagine if instead of giving away 50% of your money every year, you got to keep all that. How much better would your life actually be?
Right. Like Carter said, it's not like nothing we're saying is tax evasion, right? We're saying pay whatever you're supposed to pay, but just don't leave a tip, like Carter always says, right? Why would you leave a tip? If I came to you right now, you just got your check from your job or your business, whatever it was, just got direct deposit. I said, let me get 30, 40, 50% of that. You would look at me like I was crazy. You would literally like, bro, whatever drugs you on, can you sell me some? If it really got you believe in that, like that's how you would look at me. But yet people willingly give away unnecessary money to the IRS every single year. And a lot of it's just simply rooted in fear, right? Not knowing, right? Which is why we're so big on the ignorance tax, right? There's two very expensive things in life. Taxes is number two, right? Number one is the cost of not knowing how to execute these strategies. And we're literally giving it away to you for free. Like I've been looking at the comments on YouTube and people can't believe some of the information that we're giving away for free. Like the Chat GPT episode, like all you got to do is show up. Now, granted, we can go deeper and there's more things that we can go into. As a matter of fact, if you're not a member of the Melanin Millionaires Club, we got some exciting updates coming. We're not going to share too much on this episode, but Carter, can you commit to dropping a free template for our members that they can kind of rob and duplicate to run the Augusta strategies? That's like a quick little template they can leverage.
Oh, it's easy money. Easy money.
Boom. Right. So we're going to add that to the tools and resource section of the club. Matter of fact, we're going to do a whole episode on that and have our ads team just run ads to that. We're going to do a whole episode on the Melanin Millionaires Club and what it's all about and what you have access to. Because we're about to roll some crazy updates. And look, y'all have fun. Chop this up. Do what you want with it. We're going to give y'all one episode. We're going to dedicate literally breaking down everything that y'all have access to. Because I don't think that y'all know. As a matter of fact, the next episode that we do today is going to be about marketing. And I want to practice what I preach because I feel like the most important thing in business is making sure that you're well known, right? We don't want to be the best kept secret. So we'll talk more about that on another episode. But guys, like Melanin Millionaires Club goes crazy.
What's going on, guys? My name is George Acheampong.
I'm Jacqueline Shattuck.
And I'm Carter Cofield.
And we are the founders of Melanin Money. And the reason why we started Melanin Money is because we know that there's a great disparity when it comes to building wealth among people of color. We have a tremendous mission that we want you guys to join, right? Every single year, we want to help at least 1,000 people improve their net worth by $100,000, which will create $100 million of new Black wealth every single year.
Can you imagine $100 million of new Black wealth every year? As it stands right now, for every $1 that a white family has, a Black family has a mere 10 cents to match that dollar. We want to increase the wealth in the Black community so that we can have equal opportunities.
Simply put, we're about closing the wealth gap, and it starts with you.
So, see you inside.
Easy money. Was it Melanin Millionaire? Was it Melanin Money /join?
Melanin Money /join.
All right, let's get it, y'all. Again, we're gonna be adding some major tax. We were asking some major tax plays, some major financial plays, and we got some, like you said, me and James was on the phone last night until like 11 o'clock at night, just talking about the things that updates that we're gonna make in the rollout that's happening soon. So that's gonna be crazy.
It's gonna be crazy, y'all. It's gonna be crazy. All right, Carter, what else we got on the tax plays for 2023?
Yeah, so this one is for you because you allowed this tax play to come in my life, evidently. So you know, as a people, right? As a people, we're talking about Black people. You know, y'all know we love you, but we got to be real. We are worried about spending money on our body versus in our body, right? We're more worried about spending money on our head versus in our head.
Ooh, Donald, flip that
down. So my thing is like, if we're going to spend money on clothes and things that we may not necessarily always need, why not at least have the IRS help front some of the bill? So the next strategy I'm going to talk about is teaching you all how to legally and ethically write off your clothes on your taxes.
Let's go.
Okay? Let's get it. So again, normally the IRS is fully against this. Like unless it's a costume or a uniform, you cannot write it off on your taxes. But like one of my favorite quotes is that if you want to pay less tax, simply change the facts.
Ooh,
so that's fighting.
Is that, I mean, I know it's Friday and all, but is that how we going into the weekend? Okay. Really taking a note. Duly noted. We're literally taking a note. Okay.
If you want to pay less tax, simply change the facts. So the IRS said you cannot write off clothing as clothing expense on your taxes. But if you buy a garment of clothing, right, and you decide to get your business logo or your business trademark, and we mentioned at the beginning of the episode, if you decide to get your business logo or business trademark stitched or pressed on the clothing, like you all see, I'm wearing the Melanin Money shirt, a normalized Black wealth. If you get your logo visibly stitched or your trademark visibly stitched or pressed on the clothing, that is no longer a clothing expense. That is what we call an advertising expense. So now you're able to write off the clothing that you purchased. You're also able to write off the stitching cost or the pressing cost of getting your logo put on the clothing. And you get to write off every single time you take this garment or this piece of clothing to the cleaners.
Boy, I was about to, you growing up, I don't know if y'all went like the Baptist churches or whatever, they used to run around and shout, hallelujah. Boy, I was about to get up and do it.
No,
listen.
If y'all watching on YouTube, y'all gotta watch it. Like GA is literally like sitting here taking notes. His pen is out. Like he's literally sitting here taking notes. And what I love so much about this play, guys, you're getting a tax deduction to market your business.
A tax deduction to market your business.
Like there's a reason why like you don't see us wear anything but like the Melanin Money merch. I don't want to buy clothes unless I can write it off. Every time I buy clothes from our store, I get to write it off on my taxes because I'm promoting a company that I'm a co-owner in. Right. And like, G, I never forget when you came on the show, you came on one of the shows with a Nike like tech
Oh,
jogging
yeah.
suit. And I know how expensive those Nike tech jogging suits are. Those like 200 plus. And you had the melanin, you had the double M logo pressed on the other side. I'm like, this man is smart.
Big facts. All my golf polos, Nike, but make it Melanin Money. You know what I'm saying? Mauve, but make it Melanin Money. You know what I'm saying? Get that little double M right there. But again, literally before we got on this episode, we were talking about like, God, you just got to think different. So it's like, get creative, right? So we all want to look nice. We all want to get fly. So we were literally before the episode, we're talking about like, obviously we're kind of a casual brand for the most part. We got some elevated items with like the bomber jacket, tracksuit, whatever. But it's like, how can we find a way to wear anything that we like to wear with the exception of like a suit? Like, how can we find a way to make sure that we make it so it's an advertising expense, right? Some of the stuff might be one-off. We might not sell everything, but if it has our logo visibly stitched on it, and it's hey, where you get that from? Right? Like one of our community managers, she just closed on a house yesterday, and she was wearing the Melanin Money hoodie or whatever, and people were like, "Whoa, yo, where did you get that from?" Right? So like I'm telling y'all, so for us, this legitimately is an advertising expense because that's why I created the brand in the first place. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, real quick tangent. When I launched the merch side of the brand, I had no intention of scaling a physical product brand. Because at the time I only had my firm. My only objective was, how can I create conversations around building wealth? That's exactly what happened, to the point where now me and Carter had to like really blow this thing out of the water. And we have the technology division. We got the media division with this podcast. We got the merch and all the other stuff that y'all gonna see in 2023, right? But now we can wear whatever we want and get a tax deduction for it, right? You just gotta get creative.
And like I told people somebody yesterday, I'm like, because they were like going to the designer store. I'm like, bro, don't buy a designer, become the designer, right? Like why spend money promoting somebody else when you can spend less money and get a tax deduction for promoting yourself?
Big facts.
You know what I'm saying? So y'all, if we think different, we can do different. The more that you learn, the more that you earn. And I just want you all to go into 2023 knowing that it's possible for you to live tax-free if you understand the rules of the game so that you can win the game.
Matter of fact, if y'all are designers out there, if you know what you're doing when it comes to design, we are definitely actively looking for some designers. We got some new merch we want to drop. I got some crazy slogans I want to drop on some shirts. So if you consider yourself a designer and you got a portfolio, you got proof, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let us know. Let us know. And you're not one of them artsy fartsy creators that like it's hard to get a hold of you and like, don't like, you're not about your business, don't apply. Okay. Because we trying to get these new designs off the ground and we'll shout you out. Like we'll blow up your business, right? If it's fly. So maybe we'll have like a design competition, right? Where 3 designers can submit their draft and whoever we pick will like, you maybe blow your business up or something. But guys, this was educational for me. Like it was a reminder. Sometimes you don't always need to learn something new. You need to be reminded of how powerful the tax code is. If y'all like this episode, please do me a favor. Leave a comment. Like I said, we already said, show Carter some love for making taxes fun and cool again. Right? You know, the Trump hat, make America great again, make taxes fun again. And leave some love, subscribe, leave a 5-star review. And please share this episode with somebody because we are in tax season. We want people to be able to next year, when they spend the block, not have to pay much money in taxes because they learned the plays from our resident tax guru. Cardi, anything you want to add before we get out of here?
That's it, bro. Let's just run the plays with no delay. And we'll see y'all another day. Let's get it.
Oh, okay. With the ball.
I'm on what the day, brother.
Peace.